This is the second of two video sessions covering commission and decommission planning. In the first session, we covered commission planning. This session will cover decommission planning. To get started and get to the planning page, navigate to IT Ops, Device Management, and Planning. The What If Scenario page then displays. Click on the Decommission button to bring up the Decommission Planning page. Here's the scenario for today's session. An IT team user has requested that we decommission the HP ProLiant 360G7 servers in rack A08 because they're end of life. Okay then, there are four simple fields to respond to get us started. The first field asks, who are we creating this decommission request on behalf of? In our case, the requester's name is John Hume. Clicking on the drop-down, I find John's name, and I'll select John Hume. Now, if the name you're looking for is not in the drop-down list, just leave the default your name. You'll be able to indicate the requester's name later. The next field to fill out is the customer reference number. In this case, we have no third-party ticket reference, so we're going to leave that blank. The third field is the beginning rack. You recall, we were asked to remove HP ProLiant 360G7s from rack A08. So let's select rack A08 as our beginning and as our ending rack. Okay then, we filled out our fields. We click OK, and we're shown a list of all the devices in rack A08. At this point, we need to find the HP ProLiant 360G7s in rack A08 and tag them to be decommissioned. I'll use the filter to find the G7s, 360 G7s. Wow, there's quite a few of them. The next step is to tag the devices to be decommissioned. Now I happen to know that we can only tag 5 at a time, so I'm going to tag 5 and then select Production Decommission. It asks me now two questions. One, should the decommissioned devices be moved to the storage room? And I'm going to say yes. And next, it asks for a comment. My comment is, these devices are end of life, and John Hume requested them to be decommissioned. All right, there we go. Now I'll click OK. And I receive a notice that the decommissions were successful, and I'm returned to my what if scenario screen where I can decommission or commission more devices. I'm going to select the decommission event again. John Hume, beginning rack A08 and ending rack A08. Okay. I get to my same screen. I'm now going to filter for the remaining 360 G7s. There they are. I'll tag the remaining 5. Click Production Decommission. Put these in storage as well by request of John Hume. End of life. Okay. Once again, I get the confirmation that it was successful, and I'm returned to the what if scenario. At this point, I'm done decommissioning, so I'm going to click the X to close this. I'll return to my map home page, and that concludes the decommissioning event. However, I might want to check to see if the devices are now showing up in the decommission history. To do that, I go to the reports, history of decommissions, and I see at the very top of the list, all 10 DL360 G7s have been decommissioned and now show up in the decommission history. But what about storage? Let's go to our IT Ops storage management and look for devices in storage to see if they were placed in storage as I expected. Let me look for 360 G7s in my storage room. And yes, indeed, there they are, all 10 360 G7s in storage. Now, once they're in storage, they can either be e-wasted or donated or perhaps recommissioned into another data center. All right, returning back to my map again, that concludes our session on how to decommission devices. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you.